The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
What's up, everyone? We are live. Where's all my stuff? There it is.
Hiding.
This damn Be Live thing is like added things since last week, and it's like got everything messed up. Okay. All right, welcome everyone to Kiss Meets the Podcast 4K, the crazy Kiss Countdown. You wanted the best. I'm one of your hosts, Eli Clausen.
And I am Luke Neely.
And look who's back.
I am. Yes, I have returned.
Savannah.
Wasn't that a Toto song?
Yes. Or the Tin Man.
Should be. If you covered it, it would be.
You picked a doozy of a show to return on. The best one of the whole series, probably.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. I asked Luke last night what the album we were doing today, and he was like, the Peter Criss album. I was like, oh, okay.
Like,
all right.
Suddenly I feel like I'm in labor. Like, wow, she really didn't want to do that album.
Yeah.
So yes, we are finally, well, not finally, but all of a sudden we are back into the solo album section of the discography. Obviously, starting with Peter Criss this time, and so obviously the next few weeks we'll be covering those, and hopefully, if anyone by chance that watches or listens has never heard the Peter Criss album, hopefully you will give it a chance, and you may be kind of pleasantly surprised. It may not be all as bad as it's cracked up to be, but kind of depends on your taste. Here comes Stephen Rochelle's picks, with, I'm sure, are horrible as usual.
So I am genuinely surprised Rochelle didn't give this 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely surprised.
Okay, I can't hate too bad on Rochelle's picks this week. I'll give her that. So yeah, hopefully everyone's doing great. It looks like a few people are starting to roll in here, so say what's up when you come in. Thanks for joining us. Nothing in the news this week, thank God. Is at least nothing super bummy and sad to report this week like last week, and nothing really in the Kiss world going on right now. So I guess we'll just kind of get on into it, and looks like we have some interesting developments in these this tournament of best song this week.
Yes, absolutely. So we had quite a few doozies.
Chuck Hoskins, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah. How's it going? Just finishing up getting their stuff in here. Okay, there we go. All right, so yes, our every Kiss song tournament trucking right along very nicely. We are just about to the end of round 3, so we're closing in on the final couple of rounds. If you guys haven't seen already, you can jump over to our Facebook page. You can see this on the Kiss Meets the Podcast Facebook page. If you want to get in on the voting, and please do get into the Kiss Meets the Podcast group. You can find that by searching that on Facebook, Kiss Meets the Podcast group. You do have to send a request to join the group, but we add everybody. So send us a request. We will get you in there and get some votes on these songs. It has been a lot of fun because we've seen a lot of pretty crazy
I have been busted. Rochelle was actually here this time.
Oh, that's awesome.
You didn't hear it from me.
That's fun. So let's go over our results from last week's matchups. We had Making Love versus Love Her All I Can. This was an extremely close match here, with Love Her All I Can coming out on top with 53%, just barely getting past.
Damn.
Yeah. Yep. Even a bigger kick in the pants came with Detroit Rock City versus Black Diamond. Ooh, maybe the hardest matchup we've had. Here again, and you can tell this was pretty difficult because again we came real close. It was a bare scratch. Detroit Rock City gets in with 53% again, so just barely getting by.
Yeah, I could kind of see that in the overall scheme of things, but
Holy crap, stop moving it.
it sounds like a freaking hurricane.
Yeah.
Hurricane Pip.
We also had Do You Love Me versus Come On and Love Me.
Oh.
Yeah, now this I thought was going to be a difficult matchup. Apparently our voters disagreed, because what surprised me was the turnout here. Come On and Love Me wins with 84%.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was
Crushed. Do You Love Me?
I'm kind of shocked. I kind of honestly expected Do You Love Me to win. Just, I kind of felt like that's the song more people tend to know, I guess.
Yeah. I wasn't sure which one I thought was going to win, but I certainly didn't think either one was going to win by that big of a margin.
Probably us bashing on Do You Love Me recently helped. And lost you again already. Sorry, guys. This has become a common thing every week.
Yep.
Hello?
There he is.
All right. Seems to have something to do with, like, sometimes when I scroll off of this tab to read stuff. So Thou Shalt Not versus Hooligan. Again, complete surprise to me. Hooligan not only wins, but with 78%.
Good Lord.
Yeah. We also had I Confess versus Sure Know Something. This one's a little less surprising. Sure Know Something wins this one with 88%.
Yeah, that one was a little rough, but I mean, really Sure Know Something that's kind of a no-brainer though.
Yeah. I wasn't surprised to see that one win. Honestly, I was a bit surprised to see anything from Carnival up in round 3. To be fair.
Yeah.
And the last one we posted last week was Christine 16 versus Sweet Pain. Christine 16 wins this one with 75%.
Sweet.
Yeah.
No pun intended there.
All right, so yes. You can go over to the Facebook page right now, or as soon as the podcast is over, to vote on the 6 that we have for this week. This is almost the end of round 3. Next week, we will be posting the end of round 3, the final 3 for this. So the ones you can go vote on right now, and please do: Hotter Than Hell versus Tears Are Falling, Love Gun versus Magic Touch, Love 'Em and Leave 'Em versus Mainline, Let Me Go Rock and Roll versus Going Blind, Mr. Speed versus Ladies Room, and King of the Nighttime World versus Got to Choose.
Yeah, last time I looked, I wasn't liking where some of them were at already, but hopefully that's going to change. And one of them was tied already, so I'm hoping that's changed by now, or definitely will. That would be interesting if it ends in a tie, because I don't think we've had that happen yet.
No, we haven't.
Rochelle, is Steve watching with you? If you're still here.
Luke, I think we lost your vocals again.
Vocals.
Huh?
Okay, no, there you go.
Huh?
Like, I saw your mouth moving, but I didn't hear anything.
There's Chris, Kiss and Tail. What up, man?
How's it going?
Yo.
There's Steve. What's up?
Steve.
I just wanted to real quick, Steve, I saw your post earlier. First of all, if you guys haven't checked out their band, Weapons of God, get on YouTube and look them up. But their bass player, unfortunately, was just diagnosed with the COVID. So sending out, best thoughts and prayers to Ed. Get well soon, man. So sorry to hear that, Steve and Rochelle. And hopefully he's on the mend real quick and you guys are back out playing.
Yes, absolutely.
Steve's drunk. Zip everyone.
He said zup first.
I'm waiting on 100,000 watts to pop in.
Right. Oh man. So some comments on the last episode, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a couple here from Robbie Stars. Robbie says, "It's just a shame about Eddie, but he had cancer for a long time and fought it until the end. Van Halen 1 and 2 are masterpieces. Thank you, MTV, for making Van Halen a household name. I always look forward to their crazy videos."
Yeah, I've still been listening to Van Halen left and right. I pulled out the actual records and been kind of going through them. I'm almost done, and kind of unfortunate to hear that he's going to be cremated. So, there won't be no proper type of grave. It'll probably just be a small little, plaque or something. But I'm sure he's still going to have a lot of visitors. I know the childhood home of Eddie and Alex, and there's a area like right around the corner where it used to be a liquor store, and in the concrete on the curb, Eddie and Alex wrote Van Halen in that concrete when they first laid it, and that's still there. And there are just massive memorials at the house and just that little curb. Like, people have left all kinds of stuff and took chalk and just wrote all kinds of messages and drawing. I mean, it's really cool. And I was supposed to visit those two sites when I was out that way just a few weeks back, like before this even happened. And it's kind of it's definitely a bucket list thing now to check that out. But I don't know how long those tributes are going to last, with all that stuff out there. But it's pretty cool to see it, at least in video form, that people have definitely, it shows how much he was loved and how much people care.
Yes, absolutely. We have another comment from Robbie, but I'm going to jump down to the other comment that we got from Thomas, our good buddy Rain in Adamstown. who asks, "Where is Luke?" I don't know. Thanks to our crappy internet for taking me in and out. But also, he says, in the meanwhile, a question: is the Hagar/Roth thing a problem in America? I mean, in the rock clubs here, they always play Jump and Why Can't This Be Love? Nobody cares who the singer is. A hit is a hit. But if I watch YouTube channels, it seems like there is almost a hatred for Sammy in your country. What has he done so bad?
Yeah, unfortunately, man. I feel like for some reason, ever since pretty much Sammy joined the band, there became this thing about Sammy or Dave and that whole Van Hagar crap. And, not even just Van Halen. I mean, obviously with Kiss, a lot of people battle all the time about that crap. But as far as Van Halen, yeah. And, I think we talked a little bit last week. I've always just been a Van Halen fan, period. I like just as much of the Sammy stuff as I do the David Lee Roth stuff. Yeah, it sounds different, but that's what I like about it. What about you guys?
Always been firmly in the Hagar camp, personally.
Yep. I'm a Sammy era person as well as Chuck here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine because, like I say, I like the Sammy stuff too, but love the Roth stuff because that stuff's a little more special to me because that's more what I grew up with. But then the Sammy stuff, I remember, when he joined the band and, all up. Speaking of Sammy, he just had a birthday the other day, 73 years old, believe it or not.
And still sings like he's freaking 20.
Looks like he could still pass for like late 40s, early 50s.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's just crazy again, like how a lot of these guys are getting to that age now, and it's just like, where's the time go? Because I still remember seeing them, on MTV back in those days, and here they are, 73, and pushing those upper ages already.
Yeah, crazy.
See, Chris says original VH for him. So see, it's definitely a back and forth thing here, man. It's some people prefer one or the other. Like I say, I'm just all around Van Halen, period. So
yeah, definitely. And I mean, where's all the Sharon people at? Come on.
Gary Sharon didn't even believe in it.
Right.
He kept
saying, I think if there's one.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, if there's, we disagree a lot on the podcast, but if there's one thing we can all get behind, it's that Van Halen 3 is the only album that matters of all time.
I mean, Sharon said himself, like, he didn't expect it to last more than a month. He thought it was just going to be like a little small gig, and then all of a sudden they booked a tour and, and then did an album. And Steve McGowan said, David era for me, good time party music. You can hear the fun in the music. Yeah, that's what I like about the Roth era, too, is there's a lot of that good, just makes you feel good music. But, there's some Sammy songs, too, that I get that same vibe with, some feel-good stuff. So.
Definitely.
Rochelle says either or both, but Sammy gave them new life away from the Crazy Show and did some of the songs much better. Interesting. I was never a fan of the way he did Jump in any of the Roth songs, but I'll give him credit for at least performing them and not, refusing to perform them. He did add, some extra stuff, the fact that he could play some guitar. So it would let, Eddie get on the keyboard and do some stuff here and there.
Yeah. I liked their era performing Sammy Hagar solo songs too. That was
yes. Neat. And that's one thing you could say about David Lee Roth, though. He never performed any of the Sammy stuff. So I'm sure he refused when it came to that, but because of course back when the two of them tried to tour together, they couldn't get along long enough to make a tour last. And I remember reading Sammy's book years ago, and it's a really good read. If no one's read it, pick it up. It's pretty good stuff.
It is.
Yeah, when I was on vacation last week is when we found out we didn't have reception, but my mom or my dad when him and because my dad is like the biggest Van Halen nut. Like I grew up, he has the red and white guitar, and just that's his icon.
Nice.
So he was very upset.
Oh
And
yeah.
The next day on the Talk, that TV show, the Talk, that reality show that's got Sharon Osbourne on it, she was talking about it. Because obviously back in that day, her and Ozzy both know him.
Mhm.
And she said they were touring together, and they were in a room, Ozzy and Eddie, and David Lee Roth came in and he was smashed. I mean, completely 3 sheets to the wind, gone, jumping all around, acting like an idiot, yelling. And so Ozzy took a pair of scissors, and every time he swung his hair around, Ozzy would cut a chunk of hair off. And Eddie kind of just was like, okay. I thought that is exactly something he would do. That is hilarious.
Chris says EVH was better with Dave as far as an innovative guitarist. With Hagar, he was more chill, but still was excellent. I could kind of agree, but I will say though, like probably my favorite Van Halen concert video is that Live Right Here Right Now. That's a hell of a show. I always loved Eddie's tone on that video and Alex's drum sound on that video, and I've actually planned on sitting and watching it again. It's definitely something I want to do here soon.
Yeah, I was thinking the other day about watching Live Without a Net, actually.
Yeah, I was thinking about putting that in too, because that one's it's been a long time since I've watched that one.
Yeah.
They were pretty wasted in that video.
Oh yeah. Nuts. The whole thing is nuts.
And there was always one thing that always stuck in my head ever since I read Sammy's book. And, this definitely tied into when they had the reunion with Sammy, is he said, if you ever saw a video or picture of Eddie on stage and he wasn't wearing a shirt, he was probably wasted. Because when he was drinking or on drugs, that's when he would play shirtless. So, like, you could almost tell. So if you see pictures or video, it's like, yeah, he must have been wasted that show and doing some weird stuff.
Right.
Yep.
Yes.
But I don't know why, but that always stuck with me ever since I read Sammy's book. I always looked out for that. And thankfully, when I saw him in person, he was wearing a shirt. So.
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah, that was a great question, obviously, because that brought up a lot of talk and a lot of talk there in the chat too. So, good job, guys. Let's keep it going. And you're gone.
I'm going to.
There you are.
Yay! Of course, that would come through.
Just in time.
Yay!
Chris said, although I'm a Dave guy, the song Dreams gives me chills whenever. Yeah. Great track, man.
Yes.
I was outside of the whiskey on my trip, and they had that gold plaque in the sidewalk for Van Halen, and I was sitting there. Me and my buddy were actually talking about, because in that video of Dreams, it was when they did that surprise show there at the whiskey or the Roxy, one of the two, and we were like, man, just imagine how crazy that would have been that day. And then Kiss playing the whiskey not that long ago. I was like, there's the crosswalk they all stood in and took a picture before they walked in the room. Javier, What's up, man? Just missed a little bit more Van Halen talk. Had a question regarding, why here in America there seems to be a split on whether you like Sammy or Dave, or just the whole thing in general.
Indeed.
But we are just getting ready to get into the Peter Criss solo album, so you haven't missed that.
Yes. Our last comment from Robbie kind of steers us back in the Kiss direction. He says, Kiss Alive 2 was my favorite Kiss album back in the day. Now I listen to it for nostalgic reasons, and side 4 gets more listens because of those killer tracks. He also gave us his listing for Alive 2, which we did put in there. his top 3 were I Want You, I Stole Your Love, and Shock Me. He says, my favorite all-time live album. I will rate the live songs a 9. It loses a point because of Tomorrow and Tonight being on the album instead of one of my favorite songs, Take Me.
I agree with that.
We agree with that assessment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll admit it was kind of a bummer to not include those, studio tracks because I do enjoy those too, but it just kind of makes it extra sweet to be able to go back and revisit all those at the end of this. And there's 100,000 watts. What's up, Mike? Javier said he never saw Van Halen live. His mom would not let him go to the 1984 concert. Said he was too young. Yeah, I was definitely too young back then too, man. But I'll tell you what, I literally wore out my cassette tape. I remember we had to buy a new one because I just played that thing so much. Watching MTV for the videos. I remember I had the 8-track of the first Van Halen album, and I'd get yelled at for singing along to Running with the Devil. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I only saw them one time, and that was on the 2012 tour. So, I mean, that's how many years it took me to finally see them. But I was, glad to finally see them regardless. And, I always said that, unfortunately, I never got to do the bucket list thing of seeing a Neil Peart solo in person, but I can at least say I got to see an Eddie and a Alex Van Halen solo live. So there's a little bit of solace in that. Javier said when they did come around with Sammy, he refused to go see the band without Dave. So I never got. So that tells us where Javier stands with that.
Right.
Criss says Tomorrow and Tonight sucks all day, sucks all night. Yep. Chuck Hoskins, for me, the thing that hurts a live 2 the most is it feels incomplete. I know tracks are left off and it hurts for me. Still a great album. Definitely agree. We talked about that on that show last week about songs that we felt should have been on there versus some that maybe it could have replaced or just possibly even replacing the studio tracks altogether. So definitely can agree with you on that. Mike wants to see the concert we did with Lucas Vinny sometime before the show is up. Which nice. One, man? We showed some clips a few weeks ago. Let me know, man. Maybe I'll pull it up and we'll do that here at the end of the show to make up for this album.
Right.
Yes.
Watt's got a raise at work. That's why he's feeling good.
Ooh.
All right, man. Yeah, great conversations already going on. Let's keep it up. But yeah, let's get on into this album and stuff.
Let's do it. All right, so some album info here. Peter Criss is the 1978 debut solo album by Peter Criss. This is I know, right? This is, of course, one of the 4 solo albums released by Kiss all on the same day. It was September 18th, 1978. We know now that part of the reason they did this was because during the making of Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, Peter and Ace both wanted to quit. In fact, I think there has been some sources say they did quit, but they were talked into coming back under the premise that they each kind of get their own breathing room. They each get to do their own solo album. It would be released with the Kiss name on it, dedicated to each other, and then they would reconvene and do another studio album, which is what eventually happened. Peter's album was produced by Vinnie Poncia, which most Kiss fans will know. He ended up going on to produce both Dynasty and Unmasked, the next 2 Kiss studio albums. This was recorded throughout April and July of 1978 at Electric Lady Studios in New York City, and also Burbank Studios in Burbank, California, and Sunset Sound Studios in Hollywood, California. We did get Don't You Let Me Down and You Matter to Me, both released as singles. Not the ones I would have picked there. That's kind of surprising to see. Good Lord. And an absolute cast of characters here as personnel. So, of course, we've got Peter Criss, who did all the lead vocals, also drums on all the tracks except Easy Thing, Rock Me Baby, and I Can't Stop the Rain. He also did percussion on Kiss the Girl Goodbye, so you better believe that freaking tambourine is Peter.
He played it with his Peter.
I don't know.
Oh,
He probably did.
oh no.
On the above mentioned tracks, Easy Thing, Rock Me Baby, and I Can't Stop the Rain, the drums were played by Alan Schwartzberg, which should be another familiar name to astute Kiss fans, as being both on Gene's solo album and also on a couple of tracks from The Elder, actually. He is the studio session drummer Bob Ezrin brought in to play, I believe, and also bits of Odyssey. So interesting that happened. We've also got Bill Bodine, who played bass guitar on tracks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9. Neil Jason played bass on the other tracks 6, 7, and 10. Art Munson played guitars on tracks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9. Stan Penridge, Peter's longtime partner in crime, played guitars on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 9, and also did backing vocals. Elliot Randall played guitars on Easy Thing and I Can't Stop the Rain. John Trapea played guitars on tracks 6, 7, and 10. Brendan Harkin, guitars on Easy Thing. The one and only Steve Lukather from Toto, who played the guitar solos on That's the Kind of Sugar Papa Likes and Hooked on Rock and Roll. Bill Cuomo played keyboards on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9. Richard Gearstein, keyboards on tracks 6, 7, and 10. The background vocals that you hear all throughout the album are Davey, Tommy, Danny, and Jimmy Farragher, Maxine Dixon, Maxine Willard, Julia Tillman, Vinnie Poncia, Annie Sutton, and Gordon Grody. We had some horns, arranged by Tom Saviano. Also, Michael Carnahan, who played the saxophone solo on Tossin' and Turnin', and also the baritone sax part on Hooked on Rock and Roll.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
It's like a whole ensemble.
Yes, this album did peak at number 43 on the U.S. chart. That is the lowest of the 4 Kiss solo albums. However, this album is certified platinum.
Very cool. So yeah, and a little off topic, quick story that I heard that Paul's recently told about. One time in the dressing room when they were getting ready, Peter came up to Ace and nonchalantly put his Peter Jr. on Ace's shoulder. And Ace just kind of nonchalantly turned and gave it a kiss.
Duh! What?
What?
That came from Paul. Don't kill the messenger.
Oh, that's why they're not in the band anymore. God.
Must have been a very close time for them.
Gene and Paul should have let Vinny and Eric do their own solo albums. I mean, it would have been cool, but at the same time, it wasn't under the same circumstances. They weren't, well, I guess other than Vinny, they weren't, upset with their spot in the band or anything like that. But at least not until later.
I think Vinnie Vincent Invasion is pretty. I think that's probably what that would have been. However, I would have loved to have heard what Eric Carr would come up with, left to his own devices.
And like I know they're not technically like the Kiss solo albums like these are, but like you said, Vinnie Vincent Invasion is probably the closest thing. We did get some Eric Carr, solo material that has recently put out. So I guess in a way, those are kind of the closest things to those that we'll ever get. But Paul was jealous. The drugs are bad and cool. All right, so opening up the album here, we have "I'm Gonna Love You." This one's number 8 for me. Not the best album opener in my opinion. I felt like plenty, at least a couple other songs on this album could have sufficed as a better album opener. It just kind of didn't catch my attention right off bat, and thankfully though, pretty much everything after this, except for maybe 1 or 2, it's like I could dig, but the way this one starts off the whole album, just wasn't feeling it too much.
Yeah, this was number 6 for me. It just, for the start of the album, it just gives me a churchy vibe, and a lot of Peter stuff gives me a churchy vibe most of the time. I'm just not a huge fan of that kind of style overall, but I feel like if I did like the kind of like jazzy, full choir, like boppy kind of vibe, then I would definitely have liked it so much more, but I'm not really into that genre very much. So like this album was very up and down. It was like a big roller coaster for me. So whether or not it struck me right. And this one, yeah, just for an opener, like I feel like there were other songs that could have been better for an opener that he could have chosen. It wasn't exactly attention grabbing from the start.
I agree. As Criss says, he heard a rumor that the solo album wasn't released, but it escaped. Javier, what is the first line of that again?
Yep, Yeah, you gotta get with that. Because I don't know if anything can beat "Have You Ever Made Love to Me" from later on in one of these other songs, as if Peter wouldn't know if that had happened.
Is that what he?
"I Love You" is number 6 for me too. Yeah.
Is that what he said to Ace after he kissed it? He's like, "Did we just make love?"
Did we just make? I mean, essentially. Yeah. Couldn't agree.
Lost you. Blah, 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 blah.
We lost you.
I got it. I heard it.
We got you.
It sounded like you just looked like you had just kept going.
Maybe I didn't. Yeah, this kind of a catchy chorus, pretty straightforward rocker. Kind of a rapey song title too. I don't know.
What number was this for you again?
6.
Don't let me find you sleeping with another man was the first line.
What are you gonna do if
What if I just wanted to nap?
Right, yeah. You didn't have to take that sexually, Peter. Jeez.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta snuggle up with another person, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. Because if I find you, I'm gonna love you. Very, very aggressive. Do not.
You reminded me of Homer because if you are, when he does that.
And the only reason I want to do that is because you matter to me, which is my number 6.
Oh.
Never been a fan of the way this song starts off. The weird, I don't know, like organ and whatever is, I don't know if they're saxophones or whatever, but it's just got that weird 70s disco-y vibe. But I will say, once the lyrics kick in, then the song gets better for me. Again, Peter's voice sounds great on this whole album, but once the song gets going and look out, the sky is crying, all that stuff, and it gets past that horrible intro, yeah, the song definitely gets better for me. I just wish they would have made like an intro edit or something on a version of this.
This was number 2 for me, and that was one of the things I liked about it, was the disco feel to it. For some reason, it just struck me in the right way this time, and I was digging it. I do definitely feel like it was better than the first song. And then the chorus, it was fairly repetitive, but I didn't mind it. Like sometimes it can get a little overdone, but this time, even though it was a little repetitive, they didn't like just way overgo, like just overboard with it. So I was more able to groove with this one than the first one.
Yep, number 5 for me. I really like the groove of this song. This one and Sugar have kind of a similar groove that I really enjoy. I'm not a huge fan of the general vocal melody throughout a lot of this one. I like the chorus, but the verses feel a little erratic, maybe is the right word.
Right on. Next is Tossin' and Turnin', of course, another cover song in the Kiss catalog here. But this is my number 3. You know, I thought he did a great job on this version. I have to say I kind of enjoy it better than the original. It definitely helps that they did perform this one live. Again, maybe would have picked maybe a different song or even just a different song from the recent catalog for Peter's song to perform live. But, you know, hey, it was different. Something that, you know, is not I wouldn't say rare, but just kind of definitely an unusual song that's in the set list of everything Kiss has ever played live. Yeah, you know, I like the little breakdown part with the cowbell and, you know, the tossing and turning and, you know, the background vocals and all that. It's, you know, really, really well done. This was always, for a long time, this was probably my go-to song if I had put anything on from this album, which wasn't much, but this was always kind of the one I would always go to. But obviously that's changed since.
This was number 7 for me. This song just did not do it for me. From start to finish, I was just kind of wishing that it would hurry up and be done. But I will say, though, that Peter's vocals have fit this style of music so well. I mean, it really does. I mean, I wish that I could be more like attuned to this type of genre, this kind of style he was going for. And I think I could have enjoyed this song a whole lot more if it wasn't for that giant choir. That is what was just grating to me about this song. But that cowbell, though, I'll tell you, when that cowbell started, I was like, yeah, cowbell. I was so happy.
Watts said my voice is echoing on his speakers. Sounds kind of... Star Child!
Yes.
Good morning, Star.
Tossin' and Turnin' is actually number 10 for me. I've never been really big on this song at all. I can definitely get behind the idea that this is better than the original. I totally agree with that. I don't hate the studio version, but what really kills it is the fact that they performed this one live. I really did not like their version of this when they did it live. I would have rather heard any other song from this album if they had to do one from Peter's. Would really have liked to hear him do Dirty Livin', if I'm being honest,
Yeah.
But if it had to be from the solo album, I feel like this was 100% the wrong choice.
I agree.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next is Don't You Let Me Down. This is my number 1 this time. I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, the recent video of Peter singing this song live in his house. Thought he still sounded great doing it to this day. And, you know, it's just got a cool little kind of laid back vibe to it. And I like how the vocals kind of flow and, you know, especially towards the end when it's that down, 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 you know, all that kind of stuff. And very well structured song. And, you know, forgot to mention that a lot of these songs on here basically came from his older bands, Chelsea and Lips, I believe. There's some demos out there of the original versions of a lot of these songs. So in case anyone's wondering, that's where a lot of these tracks did come from originally. But yeah, so that's a big reason that this one's my number 1 this time is that video of Peter performing it recently. It was cool to hear that. You know, it would have been kind of cool if you know, when he was still with Kiss, if maybe he would have came out and performed this, you know, sat down on the bench and performed this instead of say Beth all the time or something like that. But great song, very well written, and you know, definitely holds up. Jeez, Criss.
Oh, yeah, that's why I laughed. I was like, I can't hold that back.
That's good.
Steve wants to know what he ranked this album the first time. He thinks he ranked it low.
Let's see. Yeah, you gave it a 6 out of 10.
Oh, well, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, not too low.
Is your ranking going down this time?
This is number 9 for me, this song. I gotta tell you, I wasn't a fan of the song, the layout, but the visual that I got was pretty hilarious while it was playing. And what I saw in my head, in my mind's eye, was one of those like older music videos. Peter's in the forefront, sitting on a stool with one of those old time microphones. And there's like 3 or 4 guys behind him everyone's in suits. They're doing the finger snap thing, the head thing, and they all have cat makeup on. And then it fades from them to the profile of a longing girl standing in a gazebo by the ocean.
That would have been pretty cool, I think.
Yeah. Like all I saw the entire time the song was playing, like it was a whole scene. Like it was just a whole thing. And I thought, okay, even though I'm not really digging the song, the visual that it's giving me is great. Like that's awesome.
That's something I've always wondered about these solo albums is, as much as they were trying to promote them, why did they not film a promo, video for at least one song for each of them? That would have been great.
Yeah.
Instead of performing a song each live, it would have been better to have a video for each of them, and they all somehow tie together. Wow, Javier says he would listen to this album before Revenge, Carnival of Souls, Sonic Boom, and Monster.
Wow.
No. No.
Criss is being pretty harsh, man. I don't know. Have you even listened to this album before? You got to give it a shot. So I feel like the list for their show for worst Kiss song is gonna be, this whole album is gonna be part of the list. Lost you.
I wasn't saying anything worth saying.
There we go. Still aren't.
Nope. At number 8 for me on Don't You Let Me Down. I was trying to remember which song he performed in his house. I couldn't remember. I remembered seeing it, but that is cool that it was this one. I do really enjoy the down, down, down part at the end of this song. That is a really neat bit.
So next up is That's the Kind of Sugar Papa Likes. This one's number 5 for me. Oh, God. I could just hear the jokes coming now. That's the kind of sugar Papa likes.
I wonder if he said that when he laid it on Ace's shoulder. Or maybe Ace said that to him.
Oh, God.
Ace was like, I'm wiped out.
Ah.
I'm not old enough for this.
Got X-rated in.
Huh?
So they got X-rated in here.
Don't tempt me. So that's the kind of sugar. It's got that cool. It reminds me of like a little bit of like 50s. I don't want to say rockabilly, but more of a honky tonk sort of groove to it. Like you can almost picture it like playing in some smoky bar, and like the old time when they used to have the ladies of the night, shall we say, that used to come down and frequent the guests. So yeah, that's the kind of sugar they like. So you would think at the same time that this is like some sort of cover song, because it again has that kind of old type of flavor and sound to it, but no, it's not. Yes, his name is Peter for a reason.
This song is number one for me, and I can remember listening to this. For Luke's dad, one year for Christmas, I made him lyric books for all the albums, and I can remember even then this was the only one at that time that I liked off this whole album.
Huh.
Uh, I can't put my finger on what it is even about it that I like so much, but it's catchy, and I mean it still has the qualities in it that I don't like in the other songs. So I'm not sure what it is about this one that kind of is different to me. I feel like it maybe has kind of more of like a gritty chorus to it almost, which always fits Peter really well. Even with that choir that it's got going on, but I mean, and it also has a great solo. So I mean, maybe those are the aspects of it that kind of stick out as making it, you know, different to me and why I like it a lot more than what I do, any of the other songs.
Right.
And I can remember when I was first doing this album after I heard this song, I mean, for weeks I was singing this song in my head, just
Huh.
off and on. I would go around just randomly, I would blurt it out while Luke was sitting near me and stuff. And even now, it's like, every time I hear it, I'll have it stuck in my head for weeks now.
And that book gets plenty of use.
Oh, yeah. I had to think there for a second.
Definitely.
I said that like,
His
pregnancy
Peter is
brain.
called the spoiler, says Hobby.
Oh no.
This song's number 2 for me. As I mentioned with You Matter to Me, the groove of this one thing. And I think the chorus of this song for me is just the epitome of this album. I think it's what I think of when I think of this album is this chorus. The 100,000 Years-esque drum beat is absolutely perfect. It was 100% the right thing for this chorus. This was, I think for me, the last time Peter really had it with drumming,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Something definitely happened there to not even play on the following album except for like one song.
Yeah.
Next is Easy Thing. This is number 2 for me. This is a great ballad. I don't see. I'm not sure, but I almost feel like this was my number 1 last time. I can't remember, but such a great ballad, and I'll even go on record as saying, as of right now, I think that this is Peter's best ballad that he ever did. Over Beth, over Hard Luck Woman. It would have been, again, it would have been cool if he would have just done some different songs each night when he came out and sat on the stool, instead of just doing Beth over and over and over. Just, I think this would have went over well. I could just picture like the that disco ball spinning with this song playing, and I just think this is one of his best vocal performances, and again, just a great ballad. And I don't care if it's like cheesy or whatever, but I mean, that's really the heart and soul of what this Peter Criss album is just some good songwriting, singing, kind of ballady, that little bit of that jazz influence. You got little hints of that big band influence. I mean, that's Peter Criss to a T. So, or a P, either way. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I feel like this is his best ballad that he ever sang on. And that's over Finally Found My Way.
Yeah.
maybe I don't know.
This is number 4 for me. And it kind of gives me that Beth vibe, because it's fairly simple, mostly just guitar and him singing. It picks up here and there, but it helps to showcase his vocals really well, I think. And then the choir comes in towards the end, but it fits into this song really well with being more ballady. And then the only thing that I kind of got a little much was the repetitiveness of the song at the very end, where it just was a little overdone, I think, because it just kept repeating and repeating and repeating. I Right. Like it was really great, but then it just kind of got too much at the very end. If they would have cut it off sooner or maybe just ended it solidly, I think that would have made it almost like a perfect kind of ballad.
Yeah, this is actually number 9 for me. Totally on board with the repetitiveness near the end. Yeah, it got a little old, but I felt like Peter's vocal was kind of rough on this one. Like could have been a bit better.
Interesting. Next is Rock Me Baby. Number 10 for me. Just wasn't into this one. I lost a lot of attention on this song. I don't dig the lyrical content or everything. It just, to me, it was a throwaway song. Again, like, I know this is a little more upbeat, and not saying that none of those upbeat songs on this album are good, but I feel like the real meat and potatoes is the more ballady songs on here, in my opinion. So, yeah, this one, especially after hearing Easy Thing, this one just lost my attention.
Yeah, this is number 5. And, I pretty much said around that same thing. It's the type of song that even though it's an upbeat song, it doesn't really have anything that sticks out about it. It's pretty much just straightforward. And I mean, I had a hard time keeping my attention on it.
Mm.
So I kind of was drifting away as this one was playing. Like I wasn't really paying attention all that much. So.
4 for me on this one. Yeah, I liked that it picked back up here. I thought it was kind of a nice change of pace, and there weren't a whole lot of upbeat songs on this, so it felt kind of nice. But yeah, it's just a very bland song. It's repetitive. It's not a bad song, but there's nothing really memorable about it either.
Kiss the Girl Goodbye. Some reason the title reminds me of Little Mermaid for some reason.
Yeah, the Kiss the Girl song. Yeah, I think the same thing every time I read that.
Kiss the Girl Goodbye. I'm a singing lobster.
Yeah.
So this one's right there at the bottom of the barrel too. This is number 9. This was definitely the low point of the album for me. Both of these songs back to back just did not do much for me at all. I felt this one was definitely really repetitive, and it just, again, didn't do anything for me. So that's it.
Yeah, this is number 10 for me. And how many ballads does one album really need? That was all I.
That's Michael Bolton.
Oh man, yeah, but Michael Bolton is like, that's his thing. You know what I mean? Like that's just he is a ballad like that. Wow, it fits his genre.
When he's not doing his death metal side project Blackjack, he's doing.
Yeah. Yes.
I was just kind of peeking through the rankings here, and I noticed I ranked this one really high last time. Also, it's my number 3. I am 100% alone here. Everybody else, this is bottom of the barrel. This is the most interesting guitar work on the album. I'm sorry, there is nothing else on this album guitar-wise that comes even close to this song. It is really neat, and I thought the song even gave me a bit of a Beatles vibe. So I like it.
I didn't catch that. That's interesting.
I couldn't focus on any of the guitar because of Peter screeching in this song.
Is this one of the songs Lukather played on? Oh,
no.
Okay. Let's see. Next up, Hooked on Rock and Roll, number 7 here. Kiss Peter's solo career goodbye after this album, says Criss. Jeez.
Oh.
Hey, some of that stuff wasn't too bad. We did cover a few of his other solo albums, by the way. But anyway, yep, Steve Lukather did play on this album. Anyway, Hooked on Rock and Roll.
That one.
Huh?
Oh, sorry. I was saying he played the solo on That's the Kind of Sugar.
Oh, okay, cool. So, yeah, this one, even though it's number 7, it's it's a good upbeat song. Some people kind of make fun of the lyrics, but I think it's kind of cool. The Vaccinated with a Victrola Needle, Hooked on Rock and Roll, because to me it's like it's that love of music that's ingrained in your blood, and I know that's how I feel. I feel like I was born with that, and I know a lot of us feel that way too, like with our love for music. And it's just one of them kind of. I felt like it was a fairly clever lyric, but I know it gets some flack every now and then, but I thought it was pretty cool. But again, it's still got that overall kind of 50s sort of rock sound to it at the same time. But that's what I like about it too, is it really brings it up, and this is definitely an enjoyable song.
Yep, this one was number 3 for me. I like the vocal layout of this song a lot. I don't feel like there was anything overdone, like instrument-wise, like there has been in some of the other songs. The piano and the trumpets and and whatnot could kind of get a little too much in the other songs, but I mean, even though there's a lot of them in this song, I felt like they were like dispersed well. It definitely felt like the kind of song where it needed a little bit of extra flavor. So I think it helped in this song versus making it a little too much. Sorry, I have to check my sugar.
Yeah.
That's what Papa likes.
Yeah. Oh, I should have done
this
it while
is
we were
number 1.
reviewing that.
That's the kind of blood sugar Papa likes.
Yeah.
Every time you prick your finger, it drives me crazy. I digress.
I digress.
And of course, we can't hear Luke. I was wondering if that was the case. There he is.
This is number 1 for me here. I feel like this is the song that should have started the album. Would have been much more exciting than I'm Gonna Love
I can
You.
agree with that.
Yeah, would have put more positive kind of spin maybe on the whole thing even. Yeah, I think Vaccinated with the Victrola Needle, Now I'm Hooked on Rock and Roll is genius. Absolutely genius lyric. Whoever came up with that, great. Especially with Peter's drug history. Really married the, Yeah, I think this is probably the catchiest chorus on the whole album. I really enjoy this song.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that there was a point where he was so strung out that he literally tried to stick a Victrola needle in his arm or something. Criss said Paul Stanley said that Peter's solo album was so criminally bad that it was wanted in 2 states and unwanted in 48.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, Criss, I like this one better than I like Paul's album. I'll tell you that.
Oh, not me. I'm complete opposite on that.
There's a lot of stuff on Paul's solo album that I just do not care for. This one I could stomach as a whole. All right, well, we come to the end of this awesome album. I Can't Stop the Rain. Number 4. Again, I will say though, I definitely would have ended it with something more upbeat instead of another ballad. But again, still a great song. This is New York. But again, I like it. It's a great song. I feel like Peter sounds fantastic on this as well. I feel like they, this and Easy Thing can pretty much almost tie in with each other somehow. And I'm not, it's a great song, but like I said, I'm not going to say it's a great way to end the album because I definitely would not have. I probably would have ended it with maybe, I don't know, Tossing and Turning or Sugar, something like that. Something a little more on the kind of upbeat side, but definitely an interesting end to the album. And I will say it's not the worst of the 4 solo albums as far as the last song on the album. So think about that.
This is number 8 for me. I think 4 ballads is too much. It was just too many. It was almost half the songs, and it just to end the album that way as well. Like, because I would have chosen something more upbeat as well, but
Sorry.
no, I'm laughing too. Yeah, it was too many ballads for me.
Oh God, Javier.
Oh man, I missed a whole bunch of stuff.
Javier said it's funny how much Paul talks trash on this album. Then he turns around and does the same kind of album with Soul Station, pretty much. Paul paid 72 musicians to make his album sound good. He should have hired 1,000. Paul said tonight you belong to him, Eli. And then Michael says something I haven't heard since the 80s. Dag. Dag, man, dag.
I remember growing up hearing that. I think my
Yeah.
mom used to say that or something.
Dag. Sight.
Yeah. Yeah.
People used to actually give high fives. And then we'd start.
I'd give you one from 6 feet away.
And then we'd start randomly breakdancing. And
I feel like you should be in one of those big
Yeah.
clubs while you're breakdancing, Eli.
Peter done so many ballads he should have joined Journey.
Aww.
Would have been a better drummer.
Lost you again.
Can't Stop the Rain's.
We got you. You're good. We lost you for a second, and then you were back.
Oh, good.
And now you're going again.
Oh my gosh. This is horrible. There you are. Hurry.
Oh God, you guys continue on without me.
See what you got to look forward to tomorrow, Chris.
Yeah,
I can't stop the delay.
my opinion's so opposite. Even the computer doesn't want to hear it.
I think we've all been pretty versatile this time.
Or volatile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we get your rankings, sir?
No, apparently not. Number 7 for me on this. Thought the lyrics were kind of hokey, but good song overall.
Mike says concert footage reminder. What do you want to see or hear? Anyway, so that's the end of the album. A lot of you are like, finally.
Yeah.
Overall rankings. I give this one a 5. Devereaux has it out for Luke. Yes, I give it a 5 this time. Like I said, it's just a good, fair middle number. It's not as bad of an album as a lot of people will give it, because, trust us, last time we did this and it came to this album, we were all thinking it was going to be the worst episode ever. And and we were all kind of pleasantly surprised after listening to it how much we actually did kind of enjoy, some of the music. And we're not obviously sitting here acting like, oh, this is the best of the 4 solo albums or the best Kiss album period or anything like that. But it's really not too bad if you just kind of listen to it for what it is and don't expect it to sound like a Kiss album. And it's solid. I mean, look at the line of musicians that are on here. I mean, a guy like Steve Lukather, that's back then maybe he was still somewhat new to the game possibly, but you look at that now, that's a big get for an album like this. And dare I say, it could be the best appearance on any of the 4 solo albums that any of them were able to get. So just a good, solid, down the middle album. Yes, I don't put this on very often, if at all, but if I do, like in this case, I can very easily stomach the whole thing. And I might put on a song or two from it if I'm just kind of going through the discography and I want to hear something from every album. Then but other than that, like I said, I thought Peter sounded great on here. Great vocals. Just let alone the album cover itself. Those are so iconic, and those are just awesome paintings. They look so great, and detailed even to this day. So solid 5.
Overall, I gave this one a 4. It was too much of a jazzy, just like choiry kind of vibe for me to really, really enjoy it all the way through. There was a few songs here and there that I really liked, that I could groove to, that I liked a lot, but I'm not really into this genre very much, so it was hard for me to really wrap my head around it, even though, and I feel like if I did like this kind of genre, like I would have loved something like this, but as it's not something I'm typically used to, it's not something I typically, lean towards. It was hard to get through at some points. But I mean, overall, for it being, something that he was doing by himself, you know what I mean? I think it did him justice with his style. It fit him very well. But for me personally, it was not at all in my top, I would definitely go and listen to it again,
Right.
just because it's just not my particular style.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not the best like party album or something to put on to kind of get you
right,
energetic and whatnot. But yeah, if you just kind of feel like chilling and hearing something mellow, yeah, it's a good listen for that.
Definitely. I also put this at 5. I don't think it's hard to see why this is the worst selling of the 4 solo albums. It was just clearly a complete turnaround from anything Kiss had done. Even though Peter's songs on Kiss albums did have a tendency to be a bit, bluesy or early rock and roll, I don't think this was what most people expected when they popped this one on. For what it is, though, I do think this is a really good album. The production suits it. Everything is clear and mixed really well. The songwriting and musicianship is pretty good. Peter's drumming is still good. It's really on point on the songs that he played on. Having said that, just for me personally, I felt his vocals not necessarily so great throughout. Several spots felt a bit lackluster and not really on pitch. And I think it hurt the songs sometimes just for me. Like I mentioned on Easy Thing, I don't know, it just didn't quite hit me right. But I think really this album only did so poorly because it was aimed at the Kiss fan base with the other solo albums. You know what I mean? I think that hurt it the most. Had this been presented to the blues and R&B market at that time, I think it would have had a much better response, because again, if you're into that kind of music or in the mood for this kind of music, at least to me, this seems perfectly fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what it all comes down to. So before we get into the true confessions, which this could be interesting this time, catching up on the chat here, Chris said, I heard Peter has written a new ballad and it's called Ace's Toy Brings Paul Joy. Mike's wanting to hear or see the cold gin footage again that we showed last time. He liked that, so I'll get that pulled up. Let's see. Was it? And then Chris asked, was it Peter's album that wasn't dedicated to the other members? No. Peter's is the only album that he dedicated to another person along with the other members. Michael Benvenga. And let's see. Chuck says he likes I Finally Found My Way. Don't understand the dislike for that one. There's a part in there that is cool. I mean, it's a little catchy, but when it comes to that whole album, which of course down the road we will get to, there's definitely reasons why we feel that way. But Mike says he kind of likes the Peter solo album. Yeah. Like I say, like we said from day one and the last time we did this, it's definitely not for everyone, and you got to kind of be in the right mood. And again, that's what makes this fun, because with all of us Kiss fans, we all have our different feelings about everything, and it wouldn't be fun to just sit here and agree on everything 100%. So
it's kind of interesting sometimes how we sometimes we agree almost 100% of the time, and then other times it's complete. Like this time, it was complete opposite, I think, for all three of us almost.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it was similar, but for the most part, our opinions were completely different on this, all three of us. But I think that sometimes we're almost spot on with each other, but then, there are times like this where, it was so diverse in the opinions of what we all thought. It was interesting to see it, play out that way.
Yeah, it's more fun when this happens, in my opinion, because it gets boring when it's like, yeah, that was my number 5 too, or whatever. But it gets kind of boring to just kind of match picks or almost the same opinions on the songs and whatnot. So kind of makes it funner when there's this many different, just with us three, but then you got all these guys that are chiming in the chat with their opinions too. So it makes it nice. And it's like a big giant orgy or something.
Y'all have your own spice.
All right, so get them ready, because it is that time. Time for the true confessions for the Peter Criss solo album. This could be a little dangerous subject to tackle this time. So you guys in the chat, let us know what your true confession with this album is. Savannah, why don't you give us a start?
Okay. Kiss the Girl Goodbye is in my top 10 worst songs I've ever heard. And I hope I never have to hear it again.
You're saying not just Kiss, just period, like every song in history.
Period.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
It just, I don't know. I think it's just the way, and I don't think it was the music. I think it's just the way he sang it. It just, I don't ever want to hear it again. Ever. I was like, I think I skipped it. I didn't even listen to all of it because I was like, I can't endure this anymore.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you say that, because here's the music video right now.
Oh no! Oh yeah, I was just over it. I was like, I can't handle this.
We were gonna surprise you with Peter live on the show, and he was gonna sing that for you, but
oh no!
You hurt his feelings.
No! Can we just do it instrumentally? Might like it more than.
Oh God, wouldn't that be a slap in the Peter?
Yes. Mike can pick.
Chris said kind of like last week when Mike wanted to replace Eddie Van Halen with Tommy Thayer. Blasphemy, man. All right, Luke, what's yours?
I think we kind of touched on this when we were doing Second Coming stuff, but I would have enjoyed Peter's other later solo albums a lot more if they had been more like this one. Honestly, it makes me think. I'm really curious what Peter could have done outside Kiss if this album had taken off, if it had been aimed at a better market, and if it had gone over really well and sold really well, and he had had more success as a solo act. If he had still quit Kiss in 1980 and gone off to do his own thing and done more stuff that would have been popular, what more would we have gotten and what would it have sounded like? Really curious.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of a few little bullet points. One I said earlier is it's beyond me why they didn't do more promotion with this, as far as they should have filmed the promo video for one song each. That's the first thing. Let's see. And then secondly, each member should have even went on their own like mini type of tour to promote this as well, and do like not the full album, but maybe half the album, or maybe they even travel in twos, like say Gene and Peter did a show together and they each perform half their album, and vice versa, and things like that, to just really promote it a lot better. I feel like they should have promoted these albums a lot better in general, and they wouldn't have had so many returns. And then other than that, yes, this is a cool album, but I still, I feel like I honestly enjoyed that Chelsea album that we did more than this. You listen to some of those demos of the original versions of a lot of these songs. I know it's not all Chelsea, but kind of that same vibe. And I really kind of enjoyed that more. Like, that's kind of what, when it all comes down to it, that's probably what I really wish this album would have been more like. A little more like that folky side of things, and not. And again, it's like, what we got is what we got, and we learned to somewhat love, the little bit of rockabilly that's in there and the ballady stuff. But I just feel like it would have been a much more solid album, and to this day, I think more people would say better things about it had it been more along that line of what he did with Chelsea and his earlier part of the career. He should have kind of revisited his roots, per se. Chris's true confession is he thinks Peter's solo album inspired Gene to put When You Wish Upon a Star on his album. Javier's true confession is that this album is more sincere than the other three, in his opinion. That's an interesting take as well. Criss says, what if Peter would have hired soulful background singers and redid Motown classics and called his band Soul Station, SOLE Station? Chuck says, Paul solo, one half amazing, one half complete filler. I agree with you on that. That's where I stand with that album. But that's me, and that's another episode. So do we have the final tallies ready to go?
We do. As per usual, in addition to the three that you've seen here, we do have some other contributors. Just going to go down that list real quick of everybody we got figured in. We have votes from Steve McGowan. His top three: I'm Gonna Love You, Hooked on Rock and Roll, and I Can't Stop the Rain. He rated this album a 7 out of 10 this time. We've also got votes from Rochelle McGowan. She rated this an 8 out of 10. And her top three: Tossin' and Turnin', Rock Me Baby, and I Can't Stop the Rain. We are also utilizing votes from myself and Eli and Steve McGowan, actually, from last year. I keep saying last year. Whenever it was we did this episode last time. Last time, last time I rated this album a 6 out of 10, and my top 3 were Hooked on Rock and Roll, Kiss the Girl Goodbye, and That's the Kind of Sugar Papa Likes. Eli's from last time, he gave this album a 6 out of 10. His top 3, Easy Thing, You Matter to Me, and I Can't Stop the Rain. My dad, last time we did this, gave this a 6 out of 10. His top 3, I'm Gonna Love You, Hooked on Rock and Roll, and I Can't Stop the Rain. Steve McGowan from last year, 6 out of 10. His top 3, That's the Kind of Sugar Papa Likes, I Can't Stop the Rain, and Hooked on Rock and Roll. Jay Rucker gave this a 6 out of 10, and his top 3, I'm Gonna Love You, You Matter to Me, and Hooked on Rock and Roll. Jay's dad gave this a 7.5 out of 10, and his top 3 were I Can't Stop the Rain, Don't You Let Me Down, and You Matter to Me. Jay's niece gave this a 7 out of 10. Her top 3, Rock Me Baby, Tossin' and Turnin', and That's the Kind of Sugar Papa Likes. We also had Robbie Stars last year give this a 7 out of 10 overall. We got Thomas, Rain in Adamstown, who gave this album an 8.5 out of 10, and his top 3, Hooked on Rock and Roll, I Can't Stop the Rain, and That's the Kind of Sugar Papa Likes. We also had overall rankings from Jacob Hicks, who gave this a 7 out of 10, and Gianni Ottaviani, who gave this a 6.5 out of 10. So putting all of that together, this album this time around gets a average overall rating of 6.4 out of 10, putting it at the moment very solidly in last place overall. I would imagine it will probably stay there. The closest or the next album up from that is Hotter Than Hell with a 7.5. So quite a large gap there. We'll see what else happens as we continue on, of course. In last place for this week, 10th place, we've got Kiss the Girl Goodbye. 9th place, Don't You Let Me Down. In 8th place, Easy Thing. In 7th place, Rock Me Baby. In 6th place, Tossin' and Turnin'. In 5th place, I'm Gonna Love You, which makes our top 4 for this week. In 4th place, You Matter to Me. In 3rd place, Hooked on Rock and Roll. In 2nd place, I Can't Stop the Rain. And in 1st place, That's the Kind of Sugar Papa Likes.
Nice. I specifically remember the reason I picked I Can't Stop the Rain as my number 1 last time. I was very influenced at the time from Branton, our former co-host, for those that don't know. Because I remember he had picked that as his favorite song off the Peter album at one point. And again, I wasn't familiar with it much, so I started giving it a listen, and I started falling in love with that song too, and it was right around that time, and I think that's a big reason I picked that as my number 1 last time, but definitely is still a good ballad. Javier wants to know if when we do the Ace album, if Luke is going to be doing the show in a British accent.
What did I miss there?
Chris says 100,000 watts is true confession as he listens to this album in the nude while reading Harry Potter in the Chamber of Secret.
What?
Oh, no.
Oh, Lord. This is great.
Oh, okay. I just got it. Wow, that hit me like a train. I get it because I'm Simon. Right? So when we do the Ace album, I'm gonna hate on it a bunch.
That's it.
I'm preparing my notes. It's terrible. It's way worse than Peter's.
What is next in line?
Paul
Stanley is up next. Heads up to you guys, we will not have a show next week, so there is going to be a week in between. So get your votes in for the Paul episode. We will be right back the following week. We promise to get that to you. Well, I've got this video loaded up that Watts was requesting. Shall we revisit this again?
Rightio.
Okay. Yeah.
Yo.
That show was a pain in the ass, if you remember. Someone needs to draw some chest hair on Paul. Is your audio on, Luke? Nope.
Check.
There you are.
Oh, I had to reset my audio settings again. I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was that little tiny place in Columbus, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I know it's hard for you guys to tell on the video, but my elbows kept hitting that wall behind me. Like that red curtain was literally the wall. And it was such a tight fit on that stage for us. And I kept hitting my elbows, and it was kind of hard to move. But, you know, we did it. So.
Yeah. That was one of the many shows. Seems like we had to The sound guy told us at the last second he didn't have any way to play our intro, so we had to put that CD player up on the stage, and we couldn't hide before we came out, so people saw us when we came in the door.
Yeah.
That was always fun. That's the show I specifically remember. It summed up something that happened a few times, but that one was the most. That one was Jesus. That one happened like the worst, where Paulie walked in the front door, and the place erupted. Gino walked in behind him, and everybody's still going, "Oh yeah, it's them!" And then you walked in, and it died back a little bit. People know who Eric Carr is, and then I walked in and just stopped, dead silence. Everybody's like, "Who's that?" Wasn't the dude? Wasn't there a guy with like splashes or something? Like, what's with the? Huh?
You didn't take it wrong.
I remember, like, especially the early, like when I first joined and we were doing stuff, there was a few times that people thought that I was supposed to be Peter Criss.
Yeah.
I'm like, this isn't even close to the same makeup and costume.
Yeah. That was the night Vinnie Paul died too, wasn't it?
No, that happened when we were in Cali.
Are you sure? I thought we were in costume and on the way to that show when we found out Vinnie Paul died.
I'm remembering it as when we were in Cali and we were driving around, and then you said it, but maybe I'm completely mistaken. Because that's the way I remember it. But I do remember with that show, we had to all pile into my vehicle that I had at the time.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting scene, all of us in full costume, especially those guys with the boots and everything.
Yeah. I'm literally packed into the back seat with Gino and Paulie.
Yeah. Oh, Mike's like, just one song I requested a concert.
Yeah.
Robbie, yeah, we did do 80s stuff. We did Creatures. We did I at one point. Yeah, Tears Are Falling, Fits Like a Glove.
Lick It Up.
Lick It
on
Up.
Fire.
Yeah, Let's Put the X in Sex.
Yeah,
so we definitely mixed it up. Yeah, we did a lot of that 80s stuff in there. 100,000 Watts gets mistaken for Michael Stipe of REM. Let's see here.
So quiet now.
This is a good one.
So maybe we'll do a little bit of live commentary on this. I don't know. I'm probably going to play the whole thing, man. But, thanks, Robbie. Shit, we've only been playing together, what, 3-4 years?
Yeah, was it 2016 when you joined Sweet Pain?
Yeah. I think it was like 2016, 2017 that I joined Sweet Pain, and it wasn't too long after that I joined the Biogenesis thing.
Right.
And yeah, thanks, Robbie.
Definitely. Yeah.
Nope. I was hoping that. This was a great show, great venue, and now it's closed.
Aw.
They treated us good and had a nice dressing room area.
Yeah. I like this one.
Where was this one at?
Double Deuce here in Huber.
Yeah. This is my second to last show, I think.
Yeah. I was a little sick during this show. I remember that. I didn't have much of a voice. I was like, I had COVID before we knew what COVID was. Yeah, Chris, there's a little bit of everything in this room. It's mixture of Kiss and horror and that's a little bit of sports, but definitely a lot of Kiss. I've got a lot of posters that I don't even have room to hang. They're just all in the closet. Yeah, Chris, that's the problem with live shows a lot. It's hard to get people off their butts. They just want to sit at tables. But as the show goes on, sometimes you get people that start getting into it, which I think we did at this one.
Yeah.
Plus, we always
we ended with the whole crowd.
Yeah, because we always did a thing towards the end of the show where we do the Stars Pickup banner, and anyone that's in the military or had served or anything like that, we ask them to come up and get on stage with us. I'm pretty sure we had a decent amount on this show that ended up doing it. Thanks, Mike. I don't know, Criss, Javier, maybe I'll film a little, just randomly lost Luke. Criss and Javier, maybe I'll film a random little room video, even though it's kind of a mess in here, but give you guys kind of an idea of what I got. There you go.
Yeah.
Should have thrown some drumsticks, yeah.
Somebody wouldn't have been expecting it. You just smacked them right in the head.
Hey, if I could afford like a big bag full of sticks, I would have been thrown. Those things are valuable, man.
Javier, which one?
No, we didn't do the actual like Pledge of Allegiance thing like Kiss did, but we did basically the Star Spangled Banner, reminiscent of a Live 3. I'll put it that way. Have we ever played 100,000 Years Live? That is the funny question. I'm always giving our bass player shit to this day because he cannot play it, and I try getting to learn it. And it's a song that I've always wanted to do. Now, we did do 100,000 Years in our other little side thing that Luke and I do with his dad and Harry. We do play it in that. Robbie, I've kind of switched around with sticks, but right now I'm very into the ProMark Active Grips 5A with the rebound. They make a couple different versions, but those are nice and light. Plus they have like a built-in sticky material. Once your hand heats up, it's not too much, it's just right. I used to use 5Ds all the time, and then I feel like they just started getting a little bit heavier for me with what I like to do. I mean, not so much this Kiss music, but you know, when I'm doing stuff with my other band and the other band that Luke and I have, I like to have the lighter sticks for some quicker movements. I Pledge Allegiance will be on Kiss and Tell for their list tomorrow. Yeah, that's an arguable song, man. It's a lot of people like it. Soul Station Circus.
I think I switched guitars after these first three at this show. I was just messing with my chord back there. The guitar was coming out. No, well, I wish we could have done something that complicated. But also, I honestly, I kind of strayed away from singing bass songs. We did Shock Me for a little while, and then I told him, like, hey, look, it's not that I don't want to sing lead, but it feels a little weird singing bass songs.
Right. It was the same with me doing Beth and the Fox stuff. I'm like, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Crowd needs 3D glasses, yeah.
I've been told that crescent moon was very 3D.
We were just talking about that at practice last time. Robbie, coming up next here, a little bit of Creatures for you.
Gino, play the right note.
Yeah, Robbie, I can't seem to get the guys to want to travel outside of Ohio other than Indiana, but who knows, man.
Isn't this also the famous show? Here's one recording for Dynasty War Machine.
What's that?
Isn't this also the here's a song from me, it comes from Dynasty War Machine?
Oh God, it might be. I don't know. when we just played in Richmond, Indiana recently, he kept calling it Richmond, Ohio. Robbie likes your echo.
I don't think I have one on this song. I probably turned it on during the lead.
We messed around with Young and Wasted at one point, but we never did play it. And I don't know the words well enough. Thanks, Robbie.
Thank you, Robbie. Much appreciated. There I'm telling Paul to kill some time. I gotta switch to
Ohio! Let me hear you scream! Saturday night in Dayton, Ohio. Well, Jupiter Heights, actually, right? I guess this is part of Dayton, isn't it? Yeah. Right, Pat? Real close to us. God love our military people. All right. So I guess we'll keep the party going here. Got a guitar change. Real quick. Is everybody having a good time so far? Sounding okay up here? All right. So let's keep the party going!
took one before we did the show.
We need to set up at the studio and just open it up and do a Kiss
Do what?
We need to just like set up a Saturday night or something at the studio and do a Kiss-ish concert.
Hell yeah, definitely.
It'd be nice to hear some of this with right notes.
It's too bad your dad and Harry don't have costumes
Yeah.
or makeshift, because then that'd give me a reason to use the Eric Carr one again.
Right. I don't have boots anymore. I still got the rest of it.
Yeah.
That would be kind of neat, yeah.
Yeah, who knows? A lot of people are doing those live stream concerts nowadays. So who knows, man?
Oh, geez, I already forgot about that.
I'm still not a big fan of that. I'd rather just do it the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. It was cool for the time, but like I wouldn't want to go back to doing it like that.
Mm-hmm. Bitches just sitting at the table staring at their phones and stuff. Like, come on.
Jeez.
It's almost like their husbands made them be there.
God forbid.
You know,
Right.
Yeah.
she has a few ladies here and there.
That's all I'm gonna give you this time. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up and get out of here. So, man, another great episode. We thank you guys for coming in and all this chatting again. It makes the show fun as hell to do. And so again, sorry, but we are going to take next week off, but we will be back the following week to get right back on track with Paul's solo album. And so please make sure to get all your votes in and whatnot for that. Make sure you tune in once again to the Kiss and Tell podcast. You may see a couple ugly faces appear on there fairly recent again, so keep an eye out for that.
Yes.
All right, guys. Everyone, have a great weekend. Stay safe. All that good stuff. We'll see you guys here in a couple weeks. Take care, and see you then. Say bye, Pip.